Deep in the heart of the wilderness, a ranger lay unconscious, vulnerable beneath the searing sun. As a pride of lions closed in, nature seemed ready to deliver its harsh verdict. But what the lions did next defied every expectation and left witnesses utterly speechless. The story unfolds deep in the heart of the enigmatic African continent, where endless savannas stretch toward the horizon and dense, verdant forests conceal countless secrets. At the center of it all is Jesse, a devoted game warden and true son of the African soil, who has dedicated his life to protecting the magnificent creatures that share this world with us. Jesse was more than a protector. He was a meticulous observer, a man deeply attuned to the very breath and rhythm of the wilderness he called home. He knew the calls of hundreds of bird species, could read the tracks of countless mammals, and sensed the subtle shifts in the wind that foretold great changes. Every sign, every whisper of nature spoke to him, guiding his every step in the untamed world. One particular afternoon, the skies underwent a dramatic transformation as ominous, inky clouds gathered, blotting out the once brilliant sun. A strong gust of wind swept through the land, carrying with it thick humidity and the rich, earthy scent that heralded an approaching tropical downpour. Drawing on his vast experience, Jesse knew this was no ordinary passing shower. Something far more powerful was brewing. The torrential rains in this region could transform the most tranquil streams into raging torrents in the blink of an eye. When the rain finally unleashed its fury, it descended with an almost unbelievable intensity. Water cascaded down relentlessly, pelting the canopy, washing away the dust, and revitalizing the verdant hues of the vegetation. Yet it also brought with it latent dangers. The small meandering streams began to swell their waters, rising rapidly, sweeping away anything that lay in their path. As the deluge reached its zenith, Jesse was on patrol in an area bordering a stream that was usually a picture of serenity. Suddenly, his ears caught the anxious growls intermingled with the distressed whimper of a very young one. Driven by the inherent instinct of a guardian, Jesse immediately directed his steps towards the source of the sound. Upon reaching the location, the scene that unfolded before him caused his heart to clench. A pride of lions comprises both powerful, mature adults and vulnerable cubs. Tiny cubs were trapped on a small knoll in the middle of the now violently surging stream. The water had risen to such a level that no escape route remained. The lionesses were desperately trying to shield their offspring, but a palpable fear was evident in their eyes. Jesse understood that time was of the essence. The current was growing stronger with each passing moment, and the small island of Earth could be submerged at any time. He could not in good conscience abandon these magnificent creatures to such a perilous fate. Despite the inherent risks of confronting a pride of lions, Jesse resolved to act. Without a moment's hesitation, Jesse plunged into the frigid, turbulent water. The sheer force of the current attempted to knock him off his feet, but with unwavering resilience and his seasoned experience, he fought his way towards the stranded pride. He knew that even the slightest misstep could have dire consequences. Reaching the precarious knoll, Jesse approached the trembling lions with gentle movements. In his soothing tone, he understood that their fear could exacerbate the already critical situation. Jesse began the arduous rescue operation. He carefully scooped up each tiny cub, those fragile lives, quivering in his arms, and carried them back to the safety of the bank. The lioness, initially displaying a degree of apprehension, seemed to sense the genuine sincerity and benevolent intent of this man. They exhibited no aggression whatsoever, but merely watched his every move with anxious eyes, each crossing of the raging stream with a small cub in his grasp. It was a true test of endurance. Jesse had to battle the relentless power of the water while ensuring the safety of the delicate young lives he held. He could feel their vulnerability, their utter dependence, and he was determined that no harm would befall them. Once all the cubs were safely assured, Jesse turned his attention to the adult lions. The powerful males, their majestic manes now sodden and heavy with water, were also struggling to find a way across the treacherous current. Jesse utilized large branches as makeshift supports, guiding them step by careful step. Finally, after a period fraught with tension and challenge, the entire pride was safe on the bank. They lay panting, their firm, matted, and muddy, but in their eyes, Jesse could discern a profound sense of gratitude. He knew that this moment would forever be etched in his memory. The ensuing years passed with a quiet serenity. Jesse continued his work tirelessly, protecting his beloved forest. He would often encounter the same pride of lions during his patrols, and it seemed as though a special connection, a silent understanding, had formed between them. One sweltering day, while Jesse was on his solitary rounds in a familiar part of the reserve, a sudden searing pain ripped through him. He felt a crushing sensation in his chest, his breath grew shallow and labored, and a violent dizziness caused him to stumble. He desperately clung to a nearby tree trunk, but his strength seemed to have completely deserted him. He collapsed onto the dusty track, lying motionless under the relentless glare of the savannah sun. Time slipped by, and Jesse remained there unseen and unaware. His condition grew increasingly critical in his fading consciousness. Fleeting images of the forest of the creatures he cherished flickered, and then vanished. Meanwhile, the pride of lions that Jesse had rescued years prior were resting nearby. The dominant male, with his impressive dark mane and intelligent gaze, seemed to sense a subtle disturbance in the familiar rhythm of the bush. He lifted his head, listening intently to the usual sounds of the forest. Then he tested the air. A faint yet familiar scent reached his keen olfactory senses. The alpha male rose to his feet, emitting a soft rumble that served as a call to the pride. The entire group, including the lioness and the now-grown cubs, followed him towards the source of the familiar aroma. They moved silently through the undergrowth across small rises until they reached the track where Jesse lay still, upon seeing the man who had once saved their lives lying inert on the ground. The lions seemed to comprehend the gravity of his situation. The alpha male approached Jesse cautiously, sniffing him gently before nudging him with his head in a tender manner, as if attempting to rouse him, but Jesse remained unresponsive. The lions exchanged glances of visible unease in their eyes. They seemed to understand that they had to do something to help this man. An extraordinary idea, a remarkable act perhaps never before witnessed, seemed to dawn. Within the pride, the alpha male stepped out onto the dusty track, lying down directly across the path, effectively blocking it. The other lions followed suit, forming a living barricade, preventing any vehicle from passing. A short while later, a park patrol vehicle appeared in the distance. The driver was astonished to see a pride of lions obstructing the road. He brought the vehicle to a halt, utterly perplexed by the unusual sight. Typically, lions would instinctively avoid human presence in vehicles. The alpha male rose, walked towards the patrol vehicle, and then turned back to look towards Jesse, who was lying motionless by the side of the track. He repeated this action several times as if attempting to signal the driver to follow him. The driver is initially apprehensive, but, observing the lion's persistent and seemingly purposeful behavior, begins to suspect that something was amiss. He made the decision to cautiously exit his vehicle and follow the magnificent creature. The lion led the driver directly to where Jesse lay unconscious. Upon seeing the familiar game warden in such a critical state, the driver immediately understood the situation. He swiftly used his radio to report the emergency and request urgent medical assistance while they waited for help to arrive. The pride of lions remained vigilant, standing guard around Jesse as if protecting him from any further harm. They maintained a respectful distance, exhibiting no threatening behavior towards the driver. Within a short time, an ambulance and a rescue team arrived at the scene. They quickly administered first aid to Jesse and transported him to the nearest hospital. Thanks to the timely intervention of the pride of lions, Jesse's life was saved at the hospital. Doctors diagnosed Jesse as having suffered a severe stroke. Had he not received prompt medical attention, the outcome could have been tragically different. Everyone was astounded to learn that it was a wild pride of lions that had ultimately been responsible for saving his life. The story of Jesse, the game warden, and the lions quickly spread across the region, becoming a living legend. It stands as a powerful testament to the deep and often mysterious connections that can form between humans and the wild. Jesse had saved the lions in their moment of desperate need, and in a remarkable twist of fate, they repaid his kindness, saving his life when he needed it most. This serves as a poignant reminder of the intricate interdependence woven into the complex ecosystems of our planet. Every creature, whether human or wild, holds a vital place in the grand tapestry of life. Acts of kindness and compassion extended to any species can lead to extraordinary and unexpected outcomes. And as we gaze into the eyes of a lion, a being of immense power and majesty, we are reminded of the profound connections that bind us all. Perhaps in moments like these, we glimpse not only the wildness of nature but also its deep capacity for gratitude and loyalty, qualities we often believe belong solely to our own species. This story, ladies and gentlemen, is a hymn to life, to courage, and above all, to the sacred bond between humanity and the natural world, a bond we have a profound duty to protect and cherish. What do you think of this story? Let us know in the comments section. I hope you like this story. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Also, subscribe and press the bell icon to never miss the update from our channel. Thank you.